Chai pe charcha nahi ho rahi, but we definitely have coffee pe charcha today. Came to New York, I was literally washing my utensils, doing my laundry because I wanted to be that cool person who just goes out, grabs coffee in New York.
Do you believe in nazar?
That person just threw coffee on me.
My fashion knowledge is very poor. They hate AI.
They are so fast.
They're so fast.
I've started feeling old. You'll be surprised to know I hate to call myself an influencer. People don't respect elder people here. I was stuck there for 8 hours. New York. Life में कुछ ना कुछ तो मिस होगा बनी ही.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Charcha. So why we call it Charcha? Because it is supposed to be casual, fun, not very serious, just like random friends having discussions. So we have with us today Shreya. Please introduce yourself.
So excited to be here and just chill and talk. Chai pe charcha nahi ho rahi, but we definitely have coffee pe charcha today.
Yeah.
So I am Shreya. I am a fashion enthusiast. I live in Jaipur, but I've studied in Bombay and New York. Right now I'm working for a company for marketing, and I came here for masters. I studied at Parsons and I did my fashion business management there.
Perfect. So Shreya has an Instagram page called SJ Box, and she has always maintained a very unique perspective on her page, and I've always loved her content. It's very unique. It comes from something different about it, about every content piece you do, and about every story also that you post. And I think you have been able to create that difference among other people. I've always liked your content, so that's why just wanted to share that.
That's so kind that you're telling me this.
But
Like there
is.
are so many people who feel a certain way,
Yeah.
but they don't say it. So I really appreciate people
No.
who say it.
I have always appreciated your content.
Wow.
It has a unique angle to it. Even if it's a small picture you will upload, but it has a element to it, different. So Shreya, how's it? How's living in New York like? Let's first start with that. I just want to know everything, your journey till here. Let's just first start with that, so it just gives people a context of the entire journey and how it has been so far.
I think I'll just say one word to start with,
Yeah.
overwhelming. Like for me, New York has been really overwhelming. I've always tried
I
really,
want to be this overwhelmed.
I've always tried really hard to be here. But when I was here, I was like, oh, it's so much different than I thought it'll be. I thought it'll be everything Pinteresty and fancy. But 2 days later, when I came to New York, I was literally washing my utensils, doing my laundry, crying over not knowing how to make rajma chawal. So it was very overwhelming. But I feel now, after being here for like about 3 years now, I feel it's very fun. Like it's crazy to meet new people. It's crazy to try new things every day. So quite exciting, but overwhelming.
But how did you end up here? Was it accidental, or you thought of it, like you want to come here? About your career journey, how did you end up here?
So I always wanted to study fashion, and I just had 3 colleges in my mind. I really wanted to get into FIT, Parsons or LCF, which is in London. And I got into LCF, but I got rejected from FIT. But I feel that New York gave me the calling instead of London. So I thought US would be a better place to explore, and I could be a different version here. So which is why I decided to come here and be in New York.
And how is your experience of being here, living here?
Again, overwhelming, but I feel that because I came here for my masters, I got good friends. I have had a schedule. If I would have just come here without having like a task to do or without having a schedule, it would have been like a nightmare. But because I started slow, I had like a fixed tight schedule. So I feel that that gave me a lot of hope, and that made me like New York, to be honest.
And you were just sharing a story of someone throwing a coffee on you on the
Oh.
second day. Will you like to talk about that?
I'll start with my first day. So my first day at New York, I kept my luggage at the apartment, which I was seeing for the first time. I went out to grab coffee because I wanted to be that cool person who just goes out, grabs coffee in New York. I'm standing in a long queue, and I thought that, like I've traveled a little, so I thought that I wouldn't have a lot of culture shocks. I thought that I'll know how to, like talk to people. But I used the wrong pronouns. Basically, it was my fault. But like that person just threw coffee on me because I used a wrong pronoun for them. But yeah, it was like a learning to live here in New York, clearly.
And what did you do after that? Did you go home? Or you finished your coffee?
Luckily, I had my roommate with me, and she is an American citizen. So she told me that, like, it's okay. Like, I'm glad I got my lesson on the first day. So,
How did you come up with the name SJ Box? And was your Instagram page also accidental, or you wanted to always have one? And what was the thought when you first started it? Day one.
I have a very funny story actually. I was doing my undergrad in Bombay, and I was not studying fashion at that time. I was doing consumer behavior and psychology, and I was not interested in that at all. I just went there because I got into a good college, and I just went there. And all my first year, I'm actually grateful I went there because the city was the fashion capital. No matter how I was not excited to study that course, but because I was in the fashion capital, I got attracted to fashion so much. And at that time, no one was doing like a digital creation, so this was something very new to me. There were a few
This
people.
was which year?
This was 2015 or
Oh.
2016. So, and I randomly one day thought that I'll start an Instagram page and I'll start doing things I like with no purpose or intention of making it commercial, or I just wanted to have fun because I was getting bored in college. And one of my very close friends told me that why don't you name it SJ Box, because SJ is like my name's initials and Box is just like my little world. So she told me that, and I liked it because I always wanted like a short and a catchy name for my Instagram. And I just started, and my page blew up, and I'm here now. I've been doing it for like 6-7 years now, and I love it.
Are you still friends with that friend?
Yes, she's still one of my closest friends.
Radhika, if you are watching this, because she is not friends with that friend who suggested her the Foodie Devi.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
She
so
still is.
There
one
are
of my
good
closest
people.
friends.
You can be friends with those people also. So, tell me about your academic choices, right? And how did that help you maybe to come here, or
See, I feel for fashion,
Ad-
more than academically, you really need a lot of experience. So, the only time I studied fashion was here in New York when I was doing my master's. But in order to get into a good college, I had to have like a 3 or 4 year good experience. So, I've done like at least 10 internships all over the world in fashion, which is why I was very confident
this was
that
coming before here, right?
that's how I got
Yeah.
in here, because I did not have any degree experience,
Yeah.
but I did have a lot of SJ Box experience, and I've done about 10 to 12 internships with fashion brands, with fashion weeks. So that made me very confident with like what I want to do. Talking about academically, I feel it's okay if you think that you want to give any other subject a try. Like, don't regret. Like, I don't regret taking psychology because at some point I really wanted to do it. Maybe if I went to Bombay just to study fashion, I would have been like that, like maybe I would have tried studying psychology, but I don't have any regrets. Like, I've tried it, I didn't like it, now I'm doing what I like, and I don't have any regrets. So just try whatever you want and be sure of where you're keeping your feet.
True.
So you don't have anything to regret.
And what were you doing in those internships? Would you like to talk about that?
So my first internship was in Jaipur with this lady called Paridhi Jaipuria. She has her own fashion label. She's always been my inspiration. I've always really liked her. She was actually my school senior. So that's how I started knowing about her. So I did a summer internship with her in marketing, fashion marketing. Then later I've done internships in Bombay with smaller and startup fashion labels. Then I've also done internship at London Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, Lakme Fashion Week. So I've interned all over there, which is why I was like, okay, this is something I really like, something I can spend my money on for my masters, and yeah, and I don't regret it.
Interesting. This I didn't know.
Yeah, and also in fashion there are so many fields, so it's very important to do internships and know what you want to do. For me, I thought that I want to be a stylist, but when I did all these internships, I realized, oh, I don't like styling, I like marketing. So
But that's true for I think every field. If you're doing an internship, or if you have a little bit of experience, you have better chances of being at better places.
right, but specifically for fashion, I feel there are like 20 branches to fashion. You think you want to be a stylist, but maybe you like something else. So there are so many fields that you don't even know of. Like, I got to know that there's a buyer. It's like a full-time job.
Okay.
Merchandiser is like a full-time job.
Okay.
So it's very important to like be all of them and then see. Like, in all the 10 to 12 internships that I did, all of them were in a different field, but in fashion.
So you have to be a generalist first and then become a specialist.
Correct.
That is true.
Right.
There's a specific person called buyer. He just buys things.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
So
a shop.
fashion buyer is like a legit business where you just buy things for a retail company.
Interesting. You just source and you just talk to people.
Yes. And there's just a person who decides what garments will you put on the window, like what the
That
mannequins
is also
wear.
very
Yeah.
well thought thing.
Yeah. That's like a different field itself.
What is that called?
Window something. Window merchandiser.
Window merchandiser.
Yeah. I might be wrong, but yeah, maybe window merchandiser.
I am just getting to know about these things.
Yeah.
My fashion knowledge is very poor. Yeah. Any specific moment of challenge in your work or that you might remember over the top of it, or any moment that might shaped you,
I think specifically for content creation,
Yeah.
I think following trends and being pressurized by social media is one thing that no one should do. Because I was floating in that boat some time back. Because
I
my
don't think
page
you have ever done that.
exactly.
Right.
So I did it for some time in the beginning when my page was not doing very good. And everyone told me that, like you should follow trends. Okay, this is a trending music. You should follow this. Or whatever people on Instagram are doing, you should do that. And that also didn't work well for me. Plus, I ended up deleting those reels
Ah.
because after a few days, I was like, this is not me. So I would strongly suggest that, forget what people are saying or what's trending or forget the views. Post what you like on your page and it'll be a very slow growth, but people will remember you. You might not have like 1 million followers.
True.
You might just have very less, but people will know you and remember you.
This is, I think, one thing which every creator has told me ever. I talk to a lot of creators, and everyone has told this one thing, which they also learn. I think after some time,
Yeah.
everyone who is doing at a certain level things, they have done it. They have followed trends. They have copied things. They have done things, and
Right.
now they are like, just be your own. Have your own unique perspective.
Yeah.
And that is good enough. I think you find your own ways after that.
Yeah, and one thing which I strongly want to say here, I've been doing SJ Box and content creation for like 5, 6, even more years now, and I have very less followers in comparison to how many years I've given to SJ Box. But I very proudly want to say that I don't regret any reel that I've put. Like I'm very happy about every reel and my page. Like every time I open my page, I was like, okay, this is a reflection of me. So I feel for long term, to be in that career for long term,
true.
this is very important and brands recognize that.
Otherwise, if you're doing something which you don't like to do just because of the trend and stuff, so you won't be able to do it in long term.
You will
That
get
makes sense.
views on that, but I don't know. Like after a week, when I open it, I was like, this is not me. Why is this on my page? And like brands and people do see that.
True.
So, like, do whatever you want to do, regardless of whether it's a trend or not.
Interesting. Do you follow a process for content creation, right? And has it changed over the years?
I used to follow a lot of procedures because my end aim earlier was just to have a lot of followers, but now I don't. Like, especially I think after coming to New York, when I had to start everything from step one, like back in Jaipur, back in India, I still got like a little bit of recognition. So I knew that followers mattered and all of that. And I was still following trends, to be honest with myself. But when I came to New York, I was like, oh, no one knows me. No one gives me attention. I have to start from scratch. So I started self-reflecting on what I want on my page more than what brands want me to do. So
Interesting. And do you think ये ज़्यादा इंडिया में भी है कि follow the trend stuff ये वो
बहुत
that race
ज़्यादा है
everything पूरा
बहुत ज़्यादा है and I feel even the brands that I've worked with like the best of the brands they give you a script that you have to say आपको एक angle बताते हैं that you have to do that and I have stopped taking offers like that because I feel I don't want to put like a copy paste thing on my page at all. It's okay, I'll earn I'll earn a little bit less, but that's very okay with me because I think long term I've understood कि मुझे अपनी image कैसी रखनी है Instagram पे and people do recognize it. Like you said that like you have seen like some good pieces. You know that I don't follow trends. So I've never vocally said it, but people recognize you long term.
And that is also differentiating you with other creators, I think, in long term.
I mean, I am happy with my page and बस वो reflect होना चाहिए page पे.
True. But
And one more suggestion, sorry to cut you, one more suggestion, I feel, my sister told me this, that Shreya, it's very important for you to, like be out there. Like initially, मुझे ऐसा लगता था that whatever I put on social media, I don't want to show off, or I don't want to put a lot or wherever I'm going, because I don't want to come with the perspective that I'm showing off. But my
true.
sister told me that until and unless you put things there out, people wouldn't know that you were there. For example, if I'm in a new city, if I don't post a picture, brands wouldn't reach out to me.
True.
So now whenever I'm traveling and I post a story or a lot of stories, brands are automatically reaching out to me that, okay, you're in the city, let's do a collab or
True.
let's do this or that. So I think that's very important to
That's-
be out there. It's not always showing off.
That's an important thing, I think, because वो एक bias रहता है. I think यार, will it be too much?
Exactly.
Should we do it? Should I do it? I should not.
Yeah.
But I think we should. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And for people to see you, you need to be there.
Yeah.
So if you're not there, no one's gonna see
Do
you.
you believe in nazar?
A lot. A lot. I always post things once I'm out of it.
Yeah.
Like, even now.
That's what.
Even now, if I'm
we also
posting a
follow.
story of having coffee right now, I must be having that 3 days ago. Yeah.
That's what I also follow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And these are like my parents' strict rules for me and my sister, because both of us have like a public profile. So they are like, Nazar is real, be careful. Yeah. And like our parents are like the biggest supporters. They love what we do. They tell us what to do.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, once you're out of it, you do it. You post it.
Do you think a lot of your beliefs today has come from your parents? Things like
100%. Like, I am a very family person. Like, if you ask me what would be my ideal plan, it'll be like chilling with my parents. Like, my parents are like my best friends. We chill together.
nice.
So all my beliefs are my parents, also because they are very chill. So they have not overloaded me with a belief system. They've never asked me to follow anything.
Any specific thing you would like to mention that you have learned?
From my parents,
Yeah.
I think
that you know that you follow even today, consciously or subconsciously, while making decisions or choices.
I mean, like very small things. Like the first thing I did at my apartment was I newly moved to an apartment here. I newly changed an apartment. The first thing I did was like have a mandir at my apartment, even though I was in New York in literally a cardboard box.
Yeah.
So these small things which my parents have not asked me to do, but I do it because I've always done it and it makes me feel nice. So I mean,
Nice. Because I feel parents, like whatever like childhood that we have had, right? Everyone. So parents की जो भी belief system होते हैं चीजें, they come to us. A few things come consciously and a few things come subconsciously.
Subconsciously.
Right? And we don't realize that at that time, but later on when we are making decisions ना, तो we get a reflection of it. अरे तो पापा भी यही करते हैं, मम्मी भी यही करती है.
Right.
So right. So that comes to it a lot.
yeah. And for me, I think because they've never forced me to do it, I want to do it. Because I'm like the younger sibling, so I'm the rebel kid of the family. So whatever you ask me to do, I'll never do it. But surprisingly, my parents have never forced me for everything, so I've always done what
And they have always supported your content creation, everything. all of the
everything.
journey.
My father literally calls me and he's like, okay, Ala Bhatt is wearing these earrings. Can I get these for you? They'll look very cool for your next video. So they are like this.
Nice. Oh, that's really good to know. So yeah, do you use AI in your content as of
A
now?
lot.
Ah,
A lot. Now
it
I've
doesn't
started.
look like it. Yeah, no, not in your captions. What's that secret?
So now I've started using AI a lot. Earlier, actually, this also has to do a lot with my NYC transition, because back in India, I had like a very big team with me who was working for me. But here in New York, because I was not getting a lot of offers and I had like a crazy decline in my SJ Box career, so I had to fire a lot of my team. But I had to handle a lot of things on my own, which I was not doing before. And at Parsons, they taught us AI. So I got to know that, okay, I can write my scripts on my own, I can do editing on my own. So a lot of my scripts and editing is through AI. So that is, but I think captions I write on my own because I don't like the technical
Yeah, true.
stuff. It's like pouring my heart out.
You use it majorly for scripting and editing.
For voiceovers, for
For voiceover.
scripting, for editing. Yeah.
So we do a lot of AI work. Now we have a separate wing for AI that we have expanded, and because I am very tech friendly, I love to explore new things. So I just wanted to do this experiment. You must know about AI avatars, right? So we created a new page, and we have had we make my own avatar, and I just wanted to do one experiment where we just wanted to check if we post daily, does that help actually or not, right? So we posted for 30 days with the AI avatar, right? I did no recording, no scripting, nothing, completely AI. 30 days of content, it just went there, and it actually helped. Right? This was a
Okay.
fun thing to know, right? So the first few videos, 7 days, it was a okay response, nothing major, just 1,000 views. It's a new page I'm talking about completely, right? 1,000 views,
But
2,000
1,000 views on a new page is great.
Yeah,
By the way.
but it came 1,000 views, and it's all AI, right? I'm not recording, I'm not doing anything, right? After that, we tried a few other things because there we worked with the hook. Because a lot of people says Instagram people says कि hook is important 3 seconds. So we tried adding new hook separate to the video, right? And it started working well. Then it went to 2,000 views, and I remember the 17th video went to 65,000 views.
Oh my god,
All
that's
AI,
crazy.
right?
So the AI was editing it and doing everything.
No, my team was doing it. My team, but there is just one person taking care of the entire thing. I just finalized the script and make some changes that I want to have in that particular category of content, right? And that's it. Nothing else. I don't do anything else. We don't do anything else. That's it. We just finalize the script, generate the video, generate the audio, combine that, edit it, and that's it.
That's amazing.
And that video turned that page is about to have 1,000 followers
That's crazy.
in 1 month.
And you know, initially I used to feel that I don't want to use a lot of AI. It should be like, it should have a human touch.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
someone who believes in like slow living,
Yeah.
not very tech friendly.
Yeah.
But with time, I've realized that, you know, like all of these things are for us. So we
True.
better use it. And
True.
it's actually helping me.
I have a very good perspective on this particular thing because I talk to a lot of people about it. So there are 2-3 kind of people. One is again, I think that's how you get into it. First, you are rebellious about it. I don't want to use it. At least people who are creative, they don't want to use it at first. And especially artistic kind of people. I
Right.
talk to a lot of artists. They hate AI, right? But then there are second category of people. They have started exploring it.
I'm that second category,
Yeah.
that okay, it's not that bad.
True, but I got a very interesting take from a Gen Z kid on this particularly. He told me, like, see, when you guys were getting elder, right? When you guys were growing, you had Chrome for you, Google Chrome, and all these browsers. Your parents had nothing. There was no browser. You were born with Chrome and browsers. We are born with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That is a normal for us. So it will become normal, right? तो हम लोग adapt कर रहे हैं, but उन लोग के लिए normal ये उसी से start हो रहे हैं. तो अगर now you think about it, futuristic way में, people are getting born with AI.
Yeah. Actually, like Google Chrome is so normal for us. Like,
It is, right?
I
But
mean,
not for our parents. उस time पे नहीं था.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
If you think of it from this perspective, you will have to adapt it in the future. Because the new kids, they are crazy creative. They're crazy in AI also.
They are so fast.
They're so fast.
I've started feeling old, even though I'm not that old.
True.
I feel so old.
Plus, they have so much of knowledge of all the frames, how to put things up. It's just crazy. We have a lot of young people in our team, and I sit with them. I get shocked कि यार कहाँ से इतना सीख कहाँ से रहे हैं ये लोग.
Crazy.
So yeah, that's just one thing just came to my mind. Next, let's come to the next and fun and important part. Before that, one question which I want to know also personally. Where do you see your work going in the near future, and how did you like end up with collaborations here? How was that experience, and how was that experience different from back in India with the brands, working with the brand?
So I feel people were more open here in New York, which I didn't think they are. But I started reaching out to a lot of people in New
Nice.
York. Like it took me a few months to understand what the market is. And because I studied in a fashion school, I had a lot of content creator friends. So they really helped me that, like there are some apps which work here.
Okay, nice.
And if you enroll in that, brands reach out to you. And they told me that it's very normal to reach out to brands. So I started fresh. I started reaching out to brands, and 9 out of 10 brands wanted a collaboration.
Oh,
with me. So I feel
that's the impact of I think long-term creation.
yeah,
you feel?
I mean that was really shocking to me because I didn't think that they would want to collaborate with me because of course a different ethnicity.
True.
So that was there, and
And what about the entire process of execution, right? Let's say once it is finalized, now going till delivery, how much of difference you feel in that? Because
I feel
think
it's so much more chill here.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have anyone at the site where you have to shoot. Back in India, you get like 3-4 people, you get a script, everything is
Revisions.
pre-decided. यहाँ पे they were like, okay, यहाँ पे पहुँच जाना, do whatever you want, post whenever you want. कुछ नहीं, कुछ script नहीं है, and because of that, I thought more, and I became more creative.
Nice.
So it was very chill, no one was there to receive me or give me importance, nothing.
Yeah,
You come, you record with whatever you
It's
want.
like आप काम करने आए हो काम करो. That's
काम
it.
करो और जाओ.
No extra
and
किया है.
post whenever you want, हमें बता देना जब post किया. So I think it was much more chill here, but I feel मैं यहाँ पे I could make the best out of it because I had exposure of India. So I feel both of the experiences are very different but very fruitful in their own way.
Anything that you like there with working with brands there that you feel you feel kind of miss out on the brands here?
I think वहाँ पे more than brands, I feel it's crazy that you have a team there. Like यहाँ पे I can't afford to have a team at all. वहाँ पे you have a team, so things are so much easier. You have a car, you have people, so you are more productive. I feel, but यहाँ पे you are like doing everything on your own. So वहाँ पे मैं इतना कुछ नहीं सीखी. यहाँ पे मैं सब कुछ खुद से करना सीखी. Is what I would say.
But सीखते आप ज़्यादा तभी हो जब खुद से कर रहे हो, right?
Exactly.
Otherwise you don't learn a lot. सारी चीज़ें आपके पास हो जाती हैं, ऐसे सब कुछ.
Exactly.
One more difference that I feel majorly, especially with the restaurants and everything, cafes, especially in Jaipur, cafes वगैरह सब कुछ, they are now more focused on marketing than the actual food, which is so weird. I think about it a lot. Like major cafes and restaurant, उनका मार्केटिंग प्लान पहले डिस्कशन हो रहा होता है, बन रहा होता है. फूड नहीं डिसाइडेड है, किचन नहीं डिसाइडेड है, क्या यूनिक आएगा वो नहीं डिसाइडेड है, कुछ भी नहीं डिसाइडेड है फूड रिलेटेड.
That's really funny. And मेरे साथ खुद के साथ इतने experiences हुए हैं. You'll be surprised to know I hate to call myself an influencer. Like I hate this word personally. It's a personal choice. And I started hating it because जब starting में when I started getting invites, when I just started the page and it started growing a little bit, I started getting the invites and I had to promote a restaurant or a place. मैं जाती थी and I had to promote it just because I've signed a contract with them, just because they've paid me, and I hate the food. Like, what do I do if I hate the food there? And very sadly, I want to say that I've promoted places that I hated. But after coming here, I've realized that, okay, Shreya, you're not this person. Like, now I cannot do it. Like, I will say a no to you if you are not adhering to my demands or if I'm actually liking it or not. So now I'm like, okay, like there are people who are actually following me. I can't like fake things with them for money. I can't do that.
And one more difference I have felt here and in Europe also, I felt the same thing. Like when we are promoting things in India, it's all out there. It's extra. It's too much. Here it's very minimal. Like I was just checking out a skincare brand. They have just put out faces of different people. That's it. There's just one line text written. And if you see creatives in India and with the brands and also food and everything, they are here. I'm just seeing pictures.
Yeah, and in India it's like, okay, buy this, buy that,
Buy
do
this,
this.
buy that,
यहाँ
this
पे it's
offer,
like
that
ऐसे
offer.
ऐसे options है, खरीदना है तो खरीदो वरना मत खरीदो. यहाँ पे it's like that, which is why I want to buy more. Because no one's, like pressurizing you to buy.
If you feel there's a pressure, तो at least वो और ज़्यादा negative push करता है आपको rather than pushing you positively.
Right.
Nice.
And I feel now with so many digital creators on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, consumers have also started noticing who's fake, who's not.
True.
Because like if you're posting a story, it would be a sponsored story if you're suggesting something. So people say that, okay, this is not a sponsored story, and then they promote it just to be genuine. I mean, like that's your work. That's the basic thing that you should do.
True.
So उसकी वजह से मुझे काफी ऐसा लगा that like I need to change my algorithm and be myself.
A personal question which I wanted to ask her because I keep seeing how happy she is in New York. So, do you miss Jaipur and how is your relationship with Jaipur?
Jaipur is my favorite city in the whole world. That's the only city I associate home with because my parents and my family live there, and it will always be my favorite city. I am happy here, but I'm happier
Talking
in Jaipur.
about this sitting in Bryant Park.
I mean, I have to be here, but my end goal is to move back to India, by the way.
Just kidding. You will be coming back?
Yeah, for sure.
What's one thing you like about Jaipur and one thing you don't like?
I love that I feel warm in Jaipur. Like, my heart is happy in Jaipur. And I hate that people's mindset are not very great. Like, here in New York, people are very welcoming. You can do whatever, they won't judge you. In Jaipur, you have to be a certain way. So I don't like that.
That's a common point which comes back everyone I talk to. So yeah, this is an interesting question. What was your first memory of New York that made you feel like, damn, I live here now?
So honestly, when I was back in India, I thought that, I'll have a crazy feeling that, I can't wait to land in New York and I'll be like, oh, I made it, and it'll be like a very big, overjoyed feeling. But actually, it was a very small, chotu sa, very little joy which I felt. on, I think, the first week when I moved here, I was just casually going out, walking in the city, and it just hit me that, okay, I'll live here. Like, I'm not visiting here, I'll live here.
Just
There was
walking
a-
on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Any biggest cultural shock?
Oh, so many.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
I thought that, I think I spoke about this earlier also. I thought that I've traveled a little, so I know how cities work.
How many countries have you traveled to?
In 15 or 16. So I've traveled a little, so I thought that New York wouldn't be a big problem. But oh god, it was such a big culture shock. Firstly, people call elders by their name here, and I just couldn't do that in college. Like, I could never call my 70-year-old professor by their name. It was so difficult for me to do that. So that was a culture shock. People don't respect elder people here, and I am like, okay, please, आप बैठो पहले. So that's
I
something
think वो
that
सिर्फ बात करने में है, वैसे तो they respect.
they do, but like, even if you're like waiting for an elevator, and if you have like a 70-year-old woman with you, you give them space first, right?
True,
Like, no
true.
one does that here.
True.
So that's a reflex action here. So I think that was there. And there are so many options available here for everything that it's confusing. Like, even if I go out to buy potato chips, there are 30 types of oils which I have to choose from to get like a single potato chip. So that was very overwhelming. I'd
There is
say.
at least 30 kind of water.
30 kind of
options.
water, 30 kind
I
of
was
milks, and I thought I know a lot, but I clearly didn't. So
I went to buy water and I was so confused. There was an entire section of water. This, that, smart water, this water, that water, flavored water.
it's overwhelming. Yeah.
Any other cultural shock?
I think there's no concept of having fresh food here. So, which was like a culture shock to me, because the first month when I was here, I was like, no, I'm going to make my fresh food every day. But now I'm like, okay, मुझे खाना मिल रहा है ना, that's
That is
okay.
enough.
No matter how old it is, I'm getting my Indian food, so that's okay.
But have you adapted to the food here now?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
You still have rajma chawal every second
I
day.
need my rajma chawal and curry chawal every week. So, like, I can have food here, but like not every day.
Yeah,
I need to
because-
have fresh. I can't have raw food. I can't live on cold sandwiches at all.
Because having it a few days is a different thing, but having it every day.
And plus, I've grown in India, yaar. So no matter how much I live here, I'll always be in India for more years.
Plus, Jaipur food is. So, yeah, this is that question that I also asked you. If someone's visiting New York for the first time, 3 things they should definitely not miss out on.
I think rather than telling 3 things that you should not miss on, I want to say one thing that you should definitely do. Like, it's okay if you miss on all the touristy stuff, but please do not miss out on walking around. Because, you know, like, even when my friends or family are traveling, they have like a huge list of all the touristy spots that they have to cover.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's okay if you miss them, but do not miss on just walking around the city and soaking in how beautiful it is, because it's just the feeling
True.
that New York gives you, especially the Soho area, like, which is the downtown of Manhattan. It's like my favorite. It's like a very vintagey kind of a space, so I really like it. So I really like just going there and walking around.
And a few experiences that they must do, right? Which may be touristy, but are good to experience.
So I think I never enjoyed touristy stuff a lot, but things that I really enjoy in New York are doing a lot of experiences which I've not tried before. For example, one random day I went a painting picnic at Central Park, where I met like 20 strangers. I randomly registered for it, and I went and painted in between Central Park with like 10-20 strangers. So I think that was really fun. So I would highly recommend doing all the
Activities
Airbnb
and
experiences and activities. कल मैं गई थी, I really liked. It was like a Greek food making party. Like, I hate parties. I'm not a party person. I want to be in my bed at 9 p.m. I'm that person. But yesterday I went for a Greek food making party where you cook together with strangers again, and you were like chilling, dancing, eating. So that was fun. So I like doing things like these.
From where do you book these experiences, or how do you get to know
Honestly,
about
Instagram pe ads आते रहते हैं. So either that.
it? What are
or
some pages that you might tell
There's
people
one
to follow?
called Free New York. There's another called New York Explore, and there's this app called Nudge.
Nudge.
So it NUDGE. So they tell you about like a lot of experiences.
All the activities and everything happening.
Yeah, even Airbnb experiences.
They're nice.
Yeah, they're really good. Even like just taking a cycle and biking around Central Park. So I feel that don't miss out on these things just to go inside maybe Empire State Building because there's nothing inside. Like these are the real OG New York experiences for me at least.
नहीं, I kind of relate to you because ये होता भी है. I think अभी जब घूमने जाते हैं तो there is a pressure
Yeah.
to checklist everything कि यार ये नहीं हुआ ये नहीं हुआ. Now what happened is if let's say if you have 10 things that you want to do because of Instagram and everywhere, because people have told you if you are going to New York, do not miss on these things. Because of that, you have that pressure. Now, when you are doing certain things, you feel bad because you missed out on
But you
those
don't
things.
get it. Those people are also promoting it because they've been paid for it. But they are
Yeah.
not promoting it because they like it.
No, but I'm just talking about the pressure it builds up.
Yeah.
And the sad part is what happens now when you are experiencing, let's say, something good, you still feel bad because you missed out on those 5 things. Right? Because that scarcity thing is there. अरे ये रह गया, वो रह
तभी तो वो लाइफ में कुछ ना कुछ तो मिस होगा
Bunny.
बनी.
Yeah, true. So, yeah. What's your ideal Sunday in New York? That's an interesting one.
Being in bed,
Bed.
eating rajma chawal, talking at home, sleeping at
ये
9.
राजमा चावल कहाँ से बनवा रही हो तुम यार? पहले तो ये बताओ.
मैं
ये
संडे को तो खुद बनाती हूँ यार. I'm on a video call with my parents and they are teaching me how to do it. Now I can do it after so many years. But my ideal Sunday is not to step out, not to talk to anyone apart from my family, and just being on a video call with them, chilling, playing games with them, and maybe not taking a shower and just being in my bed and not
Plus
doing
one.
anything.
I don't prefer, but
Sundays I don't want to do anything and just be in my bed.
interesting. Any favorite NYC streets that inspires you? You know, as a
Soho, like I've been saying
You've
from
talked about it
yeah, I've
so many
talked
times.
about it so many times. I really like Soho, which is the downtown of Manhattan. I feel वहाँ पे ना बहुत ज़्यादा advanced buildings नहीं है. They have very vintagey European buildings
nice.
and very ancient New York buildings. So and a lot of artists live there.
Ah.
So you're just walking around, you see so much creation. It's just beautiful.
And what all countries have you traveled to so far, and which has been your favorite? Like, let's say if you have to travel tomorrow, which is that one place you would pick?
Italy.
Why?
I think that's the only country I've traveled to जहाँ पे I can go again. नहीं तो I have this thing that if I travel to a city, I don't want to go there again.
I
because
don't
there
look back.
I don't look back. I make the most out of that city or that country. And next time when I'm traveling or spending my money, it'd rather be like a new place.
True.
But at least the only place I can go again and again and again.
Why so?
I feel that was so me. Like people didn't bother about anyone. They were literally in their pajamas, having wine, eating spaghetti, not caring about anything. It was beautiful. It was soulful. It was not very techy, but very like earthy, I'd say. So I feel it was, especially south of Italy, I really enjoyed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Some crazy travel story. Maybe good, maybe bad.
So
You like to talk about?
when I comb my memory, the thing that is on the top, I was in Scotland. Actually, I was in London for London Fashion Week. I was a kid. I was alone. I wanted, because I was in the city, I was like, I don't know when I'm going to come here again. So I took a car and I was like, I'm going to drive all around Scotland. I'm going to cover all the cities. And I did ask a few friends to join me. And we were driving around all around Scotland. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know anything. And highway pe, we were switching cities. And सारे टायर पंचर हो गए. And I didn't know who to call.
You were alone?
What to do? No, I had one more friend with me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. The internet was not working.
Oh.
I was stuck there for 8 hours. And then some police officers came and they took us. And I was stuck in Glasgow. It is a city which was not even in my schedule to visit. It was not in my itinerary. And I had to stay there overnight because the police officers came like 7 hours later. And that happened to be the most beautiful city I saw in my whole trip. And imagine that was not in my itinerary. I had to stay there. So it was just
meant
crazy.
to be.
It was meant to be.
And any place that you felt, you know, you were hyped to see it, but it was actually overhyped?
New York. I mean, I didn't think that America would be like this.
Huh.
So I don't know.
What were you
like,
thinking?
I went to Chicago.
Okay.
And when I visited there, I was like, okay, this is how I imagine New York to be. So it's like a cleaner and a more beautiful version of New York. So I really like Chicago here. But I feel New York is a little overhyped. because it's so overcrowded,
It
so
is.
dirty.
Yeah.
But I like it. But I don't love
But
it.
there's a vibe to it that I think you kind of like,
Yeah,
right?
definitely is. But I didn't think that America would be like this at all. Yeah.
Interesting. And any other place after Italy that you would want to go again?
I really like Bali.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe that.
And any places that you have not visited yet, you might want to see. When is the next trip happening, and to where?
I mean, I've not planned anything yet, but I really want to go to Iceland to see the Northern Lights. That's definitely in the list, but don't know when.
The next question: how did your education at Parsons influence the way you look at fashion, and how was it, different than India? The curriculum, the activities that you did, any spot on difference that you felt?
I think before I came to Parsons, I had a fixed definition of fashion. But when I came to Parsons, I met people from 30 different countries. Like in my class, there were people from almost every country of this world, and everyone had a different definition of fashion. So whenever we had group assignments, I always wanted people who were not from Asia because I'm still aware of the culture in Asia.
True.
So I always wanted to be partners with someone from a different culture or a different country. So I feel now I know fashion has no definition and how wide it is. So I feel Parsons, more than the studies aspect, it was really helpful that there were only international students. So it just gave me like a broader perspective. So now whenever I'm talking about fashion or whenever I'm thinking about a reel or a marketing promotion, it's never in a single direction.
True.
I'm always thinking from like a wider perspective. Things I never thought that would happen in a reel, I'm thinking that maybe I can do it. So I feel that was a big difference.
Do you think it is more about the people that you meet in college and stuff rather than the actual curriculum? Well, you learn there a lot.
100%. Like even when like the professors used to ask a question which was as simple as what's a textile, all of us had a different definition. Like I mean, like in my mind, textile was just like a piece of cloth, a piece of fabric. But like everyone had a different definition to it, so I got to learn so much from that. Like more than that, my brain became wider. I feel that things that I never thought, I started thinking that way. And because my college forcefully made me think that, now I naturally think like that. So I think that was really great. Like, which is why I'm very grateful that I came for my master's abroad. Because in India, I don't think that there were so many international students for my undergrad. But like that was like the highlight of.
And how long was this course?
So it was actually a 2-year, 1.5 year course. But I finished it in like 1.2 years because I took the summer semester. So we have an option to finish it early.
Early, okay.
I finished it in like 1.2, 1.5 years.
This is a rapid fire and fun wrap up.
I hope I'm rapid.
yeah, obviously. Last thing you googled.
How many calories does matcha have?
How many?
150.
Do you
Without the syrup.
150 without the syrup. Just like just the matcha.
Yeah.
Do you like matcha?
I hate to say it, but I like it. I don't want to be that person who follows trends at all. I hate following trends, but I like matcha.
Do you think it has an acquired taste?
I do think that. But you need to have matcha at the right place to actually like it or not. Like I tried it here in New York, so it was fabulous.
But you were recommending one in Starbucks, Jaipur
Yeah,
also.
even in Jaipur Starbucks, they have great matcha.
Any specific Jaipur food places that you like?
I can tell you a coffee place. That coffee place is called Little Coffee Shop. It's a very little coffee shop, like the name suggests. So it's in MI Road, and I really like it. Like I hate going to crowded chain places, so I really like.
You know who you are.
That is why I'm not taking names. So I really like places like Anokhi, Art Ghar, Little Coffee Shop. So these are my kind of places.
Art Ghar, like we actually loved also. Like our first experience was very nice.
You stayed there, right?
I think उस time पे कुछ ज़्यादा time नहीं हुआ था. It just opened up. I think maybe a year back or so, or maybe 6-7 months. Because I'm to actually looking for places like this whenever they are opening, and we just had to do the booking. And any other food places in Jaipur, like this you talked about coffee and food. Do you eat out a lot or not?
So I do eat, but I think I more than like modern places, I really like the places that have been there forever. Like whenever I want to eat Indian, I go to Niroz, and I have my fixed dal makhni and naan wala order that I do. I love Jaipur kachori, Rawat kachori. So I am always eating that or hogging on golgappas or eating at home. Like I love home food. So
I was actually getting kachoris for her, but she wanted something important, so we skipped on the kachori. So interesting. Kachori, rawat,
Rawat kachori.
sweets, anything, dessert.
Sweet, I don't think I have like a to-go place in
No.
Jaipur for desserts.
Dal bati, do you like dal
Oh,
bati?
love it. Everything Jaipur and India I like.
Where do you have dal bati? At home or
At
any
home,
place
yaar.
outside?
At home.
No.
At home or maybe like at very desi places. I really like एक हनुमान जी के मंदिर में you get that
वो, yeah,
halwa
prasadi.
and prasadi.
Yeah.
So I like those more than restaurants. I prefer like the OG places.
Everyone talks about the same, this thing only, same, and I think I agree on it. Because you get the best there actually में वहाँ पे प्रसादी में you get the best, and second is your home.
Your own.
There is no third place. You
Third
don't get good dal bati in Jaipur, which is so ironical actually.
Actually, that's really ironical.
So if you had to choose one place for shoot, let's say tomorrow, and you have to choose between these two places, which one will it be? Amer Fort or Empire State?
Amer Fort.
Why you like Rajasthani?
I'm like a typical Indian desi girl which loves having her dal chawal at home. So anything related to India or Jaipur, my answer would always be that.
Okay, maybe this next question might change that. Jaipur's Johari Bazaar or NYC's Soho?
Johari Bazaar.
For fashion-
I'm a
fashion
typical
finds.
100%. Like the mirror work, chicken curry, block print is reaching here. They sell it here for $1,000. So 100% that.
All these answers are different from how I had imagined them to be. Pizza or bagel?
Rawat ki kachori.
Now she's trying to be extra Jaipur.
No, I am
kidding.
like I'm a typical Indian person. So
Then-
I'm very like, यहाँ पे भी with my friends, I'm always like pro India. So
So one NYC experience that you feel is so overrated that it should not exist.
Times Square. I mean, it can exist, but I feel it's overrated because I think Times Square is the most popular area of New York, but it's not like you see it in movies, of course. Like it's always overcrowded. There are so many people, homeless people, high people. So it's like you never enjoy it, but you can always go see it and come back. But
So I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions for me?
how many countries have you traveled to?
I don't.
Because clearly you travel a lot.
I think maybe 12 or so.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
And I really want to know that which is your favorite country as of now?
I think it was Switzerland.
Oh,
It's actually very beautiful. It is even more beautiful than the hype. It is like the best. I can go back tomorrow.
and did you visit it in winters?
Not in winters, summers, because winters you can't experience it really. It was not very hot, but it was pleasant, around 20 degrees in Interlaken side, and Zermatt is one side of it, which is not famous, and people.
Zermatt is a city?
Zermatt is a city, and it's so beautiful. It's not famous. It's not Instagram viral, and it is a ski city.
Oh.
The entire city has just ski and ski resorts. There's no regular property. It's just local properties, and every property is a ski resort.
That's crazy.
And it's so beautiful. Where the Matterhorn is, the chocolate Toblerone. So that was, I think, one of my favorite. And what they have done is, उन्होंने ना lift लगा रखी है नीचे. So पहाड़ों में बढ़िया आप lift से नीचे like city की lift से you can directly reach to your hotel.
Check करने की जरूरत
ट्रैक
नहीं
करने
है.
की जरूरत नहीं है. That was really fun because otherwise तो हमारे यहाँ पहाड़ों में चलते रह जाते हैं तो वो काफी ज्यादा एक थकान क्रिएट करता है.
Create करता है.
So Swiss was very nice. Yeah.
And what is your bucket list next country, like top country, like जो करनी है next, or dream country to visit?
I think it was US one.
Okay.
And few we have already done in Europe last year.
But next जो करनी है
Next,
like
I think अभी तक मैंने सोचा नहीं है. Interesting, maybe New Zealand.
oh, which is like कि भाई ये तो next करना है मुझे.
Yeah,
type.
maybe that. Because I want to do a lot of maybe trekking and those kind of. I love those experiences. So maybe New Zealand has a lot of sports activities. So maybe there.
So,
I have not thought about it. I should actually think about it now.
amazing.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. It's a wrap, guys.
Yes.
We have done it. Congratulations. Congratulations again. Thank you so much.